not often do I get lunch on a shoot. We're here to show you something very special. And this particular vehicle made its way to this particular community. We're in Arcadia, just outside of Yarmouth. A French car in a French community with an Acadian owner. We have a very special treat. And you may be asking yourself, why is he holding a basket of eggs? This car was designed to help motorize France in the 1930s. Of course, there was a little bit of a war in between, and it looks very much like a Beetle. We've got a lot of stories to tell and a drive to take in this car that was supposed to be able to take you home through a freshly plowed field without breaking an egg. I guess we're going to put it to the test today. You're watching Maritime Machines. So we're in the beautiful Yarmouth County. We're not far from the town of Yarmouth, Acadia First Nation. Arcadia, that's the community we're in?
Arcadia.
And Alvina Robichaud, thank you very much for talking about this car.
You're welcome.
A 1978 Citroen 2VE?
2CV.
2CV. Okay, what does that mean?
2CV, the CV is, well, deux chevaux.
Deux chevaux.
French.
So,
or horse, two horses.
Two horses.
Yes.
And it's a car that was made in 1970. Now, the model itself, it dates back to 1948, right up until 1990, they were making this kind of car.
Yes.
And this car is in Canada. It didn't start off life in Canada.
No, it started life off in France.
Okay.
And 2010, the people that had it, they decided to buy a summer home in Nova Scotia. Mm-hmm. And then they brought the car here from France. They joined the garden club, of which I'm a member, and they wanted to stay. They were in their 70s, mm-hmm. and they wanted to spend at least 10 years here in Nova Scotia. And the year just before COVID started, it was their 10th year. And so they went back home that winter, mm-hmm. and decided that the next year they were going to sell their house, but they didn't want to sell everything in their house. They wanted to give stuff away. And we were encouraging them to sell the car because for them it could mean a couple of more trips to Nova Scotia, flying in, flying out. Mm-hmm. But they were bound and determined that they had somebody in mind to give it to. And I was always say my baby when I would see them come with the car. And so probably a month before they were leaving that winter, they came to us and said that they had decided to give us the car. Mm-hmm. For a couple of reasons. They had offers, people had offered to buy the car, but they didn't want for someone to buy it and perhaps sell it, mm-hmm. to make money on it, and they wanted to give it to somebody who they knew would keep it and take good care of it. And they knew that my husband worked on cars, mm-hmm. and they decided that we were the perfect people for the car.
So they put the car up for adoption and you were chosen?
Yes.
So your baby now lives with you?
Yes, and my baby's name is Faisley.
Faisley?
Faisley.
Where does that come from?
It comes from, the couple's name was Philip and Hazel Lee.
Okay.
So I took letters from both names and the last name, and I named her Faisley.
It's a beautifully unique-looking car.
Yeah.
There's nothing else quite like it, but it sort of looks like a Volkswagen Beetle in some ways.
It does, or maybe the Volkswagen Beetle looks like this one.
I think you're onto the history there. Yeah, you got that right.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what they say anyway, that perhaps maybe after the war, one was taken from France to Germany, and then Volkswagen came up with the Beetle.
And it's very similar, only this is a front engine, front-wheel drive,
yes.
as opposed to a Volkswagen, which is a rear engine, rear-wheel drive. This one also is air-cooled, so a lot of similarities. Even in 1978, an air-cooled front-wheel drive car would be pretty special.
Yes, very much so. It's a fun car. It's a happy car because when people see it, they laugh, they wave. You know, it's fun to drive.
So it does kind of look like a Volkswagen even from behind.
Yes.
So we have the Citroen. How is my French?
Citroen, very good.
Okay. The sticker here and the little badge up on top.
Yes.
And again, it kind of looks like a bug.
It does.
Only in a Volkswagen, the engine would be in here. But you say this is designed to help farmers move things around, or at least it was made so they could.
Yes. And so here you just... And we have the trunk.
And it just stays open. There's no bar.
No,
rod.
there's no bar.
Okay.
It's not a huge trunk, but the seat will. You can unlatch the seat. You can actually take it out or just fold it forward, and then it gives you more room to put more cargo.
Pretty special. So you can carry all those eggs and chickens.
Absolutely.
Or a
Absolutely.
goat.
Or a goat, or a hay bale. Bale of hay.
That would make sense. That would make a tremendous amount of sense.
Yes.
Now, let's talk a little bit about under the hood. I know you have a car that you drive on a daily basis, and always cars have to have maintenance and things to look at. So why don't we pop the hood and take a look at what's under here to see what you have to kind of keep an eye on, so to speak.
Sure.
Oh, and it has
There's
this
a rod right here.
right here. And that goes, in there. And, oh, there it is.
Got it?
There it is, yep.
Okay.
Very light. Everything's light on this car.
Very light and very, you wouldn't want to hit too big a squirrel with it.
Okay, only small squirrels.
Yes, yes.
So just to take a quick look here, checking the oil, that's something that you can do. And so this is a heat exchanger of some sort?
Yes, so this hose here comes through the fender, and it just takes the air from here, and that's what will cool the inside of the car or the heater.
Or throw the heat through.
Through the heat through.
Okay.
Here you have, so I was talking about the lights.
Oh, right, yes, and they adjust up and
adjusting. This lever here.
Okay, this rod that's back into the cabin.
There's a knob inside under the dash, and you just turn the knob, and this will move, and the lights will go up and down.
And a cute little motorcycle horn.
Yes, very. I actually burnt the horn once in one of the car parades because people kept saying, blow the horn, and so.
So does it have an accent? Is the horn in
Yes, it
French?
has a French accent.
Okay. Le beep. Le beep.
Le beep, yes. And it's air-cooled, so the air just goes through there.
So is that a fan in there?
Yes.
Or, okay.
There's a fan that turns, and it cools the engine.
It looks pretty much, well, very simple mechanical, something you could fix on the farm if you had to. Hopefully you never need to. You know that trope in movies where they have that stick of baguette in the bag and why am I holding eggs? Now you're gonna have to stay tuned to find out. Did the couple talk about where they first came across this vehicle, how it ended up in their lives? Did they tell you that story?
They were actually living, they had moved from England to France.
Okay.
And they got the car in France.
And then had it shipped over when they moved here?
Yes, in a container.
I suspect they had more than one car. This wasn't their only vehicle in Canada.
That's right. That's right. They had a little car that they left here all summer. And, well, all winter, I should say. But this was more of like the fun car. If you want to go somewhere fast, you don't drive this.
Right, right. It's weird that the windows don't roll up, but they flip up.
The doors were so thin that there was no place, there was not enough room to put a window that rolled down.
Right.
So this is how they compensated for that.
Okay, well, I will pull that down so I can do that. Oh, and I have to latch it inside, I assume.
No, you just push it. Just actually, if you let it drop, it's going to latch.
Oh, there it is. Look at that. Just the way it's supposed to. Okay, and then...
Then on the inside, there's a clip on your side.
Oh, just like a suitcase.
Yep.
And then you undo that.
And... Wait, okay.
Okay, there we go. And...
Fold it back.
And...
Oh, sorry. This comes up, pull it off there.
Yep.
This goes back, so that doesn't go flying when you're driving.
Yep.
And then we just roll it.
And then you just roll it up. Okay.
And pull, there's a
there
little...
it is.
Yep.
Just like that. Easy when you know the secret. There we go.
There's a strap inside.
Okay.
And you pull it back.
And then snap it like that.
And snap it in place.
Ta-da!
Convertible.
We're topless.
Yes.
Nice. Let's sit inside of it. You don't mind?
Not at all.
I'll let you take over the driver's seat.
Okay, thank you.
Windows up. There we go.
So, would you like some air conditioning?
Yeah, please. Oh.
So, you just turn this knob, and you will see the air conditioning
I
come
can see
on.
outside.
See, so that's set low, medium, and then high speed.
All the way.
And it's fresh air coming in.
And it stops the bugs.
Yes, no bugs to come in. If we were driving at night and the headlight, if we had our bale of hay
Yes, yes.
and our chickens, there's a knob over here that will lower. It moves the headlights down and it brings them back up so we don't blind somebody.
Just like that.
This is the heater lever, so you would just turn that on. The fresh air will come from outside, but it heats as it goes through where the engine is. As it comes in as hot air. On a cold start, I usually have to use the choke, but it starts, like when we started it for the first time this year, it started no problem. Horn.
Oh, adorable.
And the blinker is kind of noisy. You can't forget it on or off. And other than that, it's just very basic.
The speedometer is in kilometers?
In kilometers,
Because
yes.
it's a French or it's a European car.
Yes.
And there's a few other things on the dash. I'm not sure. Do they do anything? Are these warning lights or they're...
You know what? I'm not sure either because I've actually played with them. One of them is the wipers.
Oh, right. Yes,
But the others, I never really got any reaction from playing with them, so I assume they're for something invisible that I haven't caught on to yet.
And you don't have a manual, so I guess the only instruction you had was what the previous owner shared with you.
Yes,
Right.
and of course the shifter is in the dash.
Now it's an H pattern, which is
Yes.
quite common. Now, to get it into reverse, do you have to do anything special? Usually in cars, they...
No, you just over here and that's in reverse.
Oh, you just turn it?
Yep.
It's really kind of rock and roll. It's almost like motion, waterbed, I don't know. It's all bouncy, and I'm kind of gonna be excited to see what it's like to drive on the road. This is so light, we're gonna bounce it right off the road here in a second, or off the yard. As far as starting it, you just start it like you would any other car?
Yep. So clutch in. And there she goes.
Oh, so quiet.
It is.
Even the sound is cute.
And you can drive this car with your foot to the floor the whole time. Not a problem.
Maybe you have to.
Well, and yeah, going up hills, you have to have the foot to the floor.
Yeah. Again, 0 to 60 in just one day.
Yes, yes. Yep, for sure.
Awesome.
So do I
We don't want to run
first
anybody
gear,
over.
and then we just take off.
Beautiful day for a drive. Oh, wait, actually, we forgot something. This is very important. Very important. It's just not an experiment unless we have a basket of eggs and a baguette for company. We might need a lunch. All right.
Good to go?
Good to go. Functional and fun with it.
And a beautiful day, boy.
So where did you grow up?
I grew up in St. Bernard in Digby County,
Okay.
where the Big Stone Church is in St. Bernard.
How did you end up here?
I took a job with Register Motor Vehicles in 1990.
Okay.
I was working in Belfast before that and decided to go for a government job. And I started working at the Register Motor Vehicles, transferred with Department of Highways, and worked 25 years and then retired about 6 years ago now. Yes.
Here we go. Slam makes it work. Everything you would want is right here.
Yes.
As far as food, community. And you love your gardening.
I love my gardening.
This car helps you do that.
Yes, actually.
What's happened with it without the garden?
No, that's true. That's very true. They made wonderful friends. and were wonderful friends to all of us in the garden club. And we still stay in touch. We had a Christmas party last year or the year before, and we actually had them on FaceTime during our Christmas party, so we included them. We are in 4th year.
4th year, so this is kind of top speed.
I'm gonna do it.
All those potholes, look out, brakes. And roll. Watch the scenes again. Oh boy. Yeah. If we get pulled over, we're saying we're just trying to avoid the potholes. They used to say that you couldn't roll these over.
Well, they have competitions apparently in France to try to roll them over, and apparently they never were able to.
Wow, that's a lot of fun. So I'm thinking that there's got to be some technology here because we can travel these roads and not break any eggs. So, Alvina, why don't you introduce us to your mechanic, your personal servant?
This is my mechanic, Tom, and my husband.
Hi, how
And
you
I
doing?
do believe
Good to
you
see
two
you.
know each other.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about this car.
Well, it's one of the first production cars to have radial tires on them.
Okay.
Is these here. Not sure what year they started putting them on, but whenever the radial tires come out, they were on this car.
Now, notice lots of body roll,
Lots of body roll.
So-
and that's to do with the suspension that this thing has.
which is really kind of unique. I don't know if there's any other car
No.
ever that I've seen that has this kind of a suspension.
Got
So,
like a cantilever suspension, independent four-wheel suspension. And there's a rod here, runs
Okay.
into here. And then these cans have got springs each end.
okay.
So when this tire goes down, this one here will go up. And they kind of teeter-totter back and forth
So that keeps a tire on the ground
On
at
the
all
ground.
times.
at all times,
And I-
supposedly.
Now,
And there's one on each side.
right, so that's how it maintains that sure footing, even though it feels like it's going to roll right over, but it
Yeah,
doesn't.
It doesn't.
No.
Yeah, it's kind of a watery bed feeling.
We've been together 25 years.
Tell me about both of you are fans of vehicles and cars.
Yes.
Now, did you grow into that or did you grow up like that?
No, I grew into that when I met Tommy.
Okay.
But he has always loved cars. He races when we go to the track.
Yep.
I work and he races.
Well, you might call what he does work too, but we both know that's not.
No, we both
Yeah.
know it's a lot of fun for him. Yeah. And I enjoy the social part of being at the track.
Now, obviously, the car is fairly narrow and it's not that long.
Right.
So, as you say, the way that it drives and handles, it turns easy. Is there power steering?
It's not power steering, but the steering, it turns easy.
Right.
Yes.
And I see the gas cap. Now, you mentioned to me that this is old enough that it requires something that's not normal for most modern cars.
That's right. When I gas it up, I have to add a lead additive to the fuel
Okay.
because it needs leaded gas.
And any idea what would happen if you didn't? It just wouldn't run right, or you're worried
It would
about?
probably burn the motor, I guess.
Not good at all. It's like they're doing somebody's building out here.
Yeah, these were just started not that long ago.
How has the community changed since you've been here for the last 20-some years, 25 years?
A lot more new houses. It seemed like there was a spell where people were not building,
Right.
but now it seems to me that people are building more so. I think one will be going up here. So, but Sheldon, how are the eggs doing?
Oh, look at this.
Did one fall
Still
off?
eggy. Still ready for lunch. Is that good? You good?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're good.
This is always a beautiful drive along the river.
Amazing place to live. Now,
It
your
is.
husband, for a career, he's just recently retired from fishing.
He was a lobster fisherman for a little over 30 years.
Right.
And retired last year, sold his boat and rig, and now he's buying more car parts.
Might have to put him to work doing something else for a bit.
Well, he's enjoying himself, that's all that matters.
Absolutely. It's primarily a fishing community, at least where we are right now.
Yes, it is. Yes.
And what's that like as a community? What's that been like for you?
Life as a fisherman's wife
Yeah.
was totally different for me
How so?
because my father was a machinist and worked in Halifax all my young life, and then when I met Tommy and the risk that these fishermen take all the time, you don't realize it, but when you're thrown in the midst of things, there were some days that really I did feel they should have been out on the water.
Right.
And you do a lot of worrying, but the community is very supportive to the fishermen, and so that was a huge adaptation for me because. But I love lobster, so that was a bonus.
Kind of works out there. What a treat! What a gift!
It is, yeah, very nice. Yes, I will cherish this until I die, because I have no intentions of ever selling it.
I think that was one question I had: is what happens with something like this? This is for your forever friend
Yes,
or child.
Absolutely. And from everything we read up on and looked up, these things will last forever. And small minor details that you might have to change or. But so no, we're both looking very much forward to many years of enjoying this. It was funny because where it's not a fast car, they were afraid that Tom might not show any interest in it.
Right.
But as soon as he started to look under the hood and see how everything was so simple, and then the reaction of people, in no time, like he was showing it off to people more than I was. So
I think I heard him say, if you can't work on this car, you don't have hands.
that's what they said. Yes, we saw a show on TV once, and that's exactly what he said. Yep. You can't forget your blinker on.
You can't forget that. No. Wow.
And it's not automatic return either.
Well,
So
you won't forget.
So you can't forget it on. There we go.
Here we are. Well, Alvina, I very much appreciate you showing me this beautiful car, this part of your family, and sharing it with us today. So thank you
You're welcome.
very
And
much.
thank you.
Well, it's been a real treat. 1978 Citroen
De Cheval.
de Cheval.
2 horses.
But it's more than 2 horses.
Yeah.
A few more horsepower than that.
Yes, 29 horsepower.
Oh, well, no wonder.
Yes, it's like a.
No wonder. Fantastic. And yes, just to prove it, our baguette
Still intact.
and
No scrambled eggs.
no scrambled.
Look at that.
They all survive.
Cool.